Hi, guys. Welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. I'm your host, Melinda Fargis. It's good to be here. It was a beautiful day today. We have had record breaking heat in North Carolina. Yesterday, we broke all existing records at 100 degrees on June 14th. It's been like that, but this coming week we're supposed to actually have some rain, so we are looking forward to that. Well, I have lots to tell you tonight, but let's start out with some cruise news that I just heard at 6 p.m. Holland American has increased their crew appreciation from from $18 to $20 a day. And if you're in suites, from $20 to $22 per day. Well, they call it crew appreciation, and I do have people who have reduced that. I do have people who give money up front so that they let that steward or stewardess who is taking care of them for their cruise know that they're appreciated from day one. So it's all relative. Okay, a big fight broke out this weekend at Royal Caribbean's Royal Beach Club. It's a private island experience, and people pay to go there. You have to pay to get into this area. Just look for Royal Beach Club Brawl, and you will see several videos of it. Unfortunately, they all look to be between 20 and 35. They were all African American. They were dispersed. And the sad part is, because that's a Royal Caribbean, because they possess this, those people will likely be banned for life from Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, any of the Royal products. Okay, you do have to be careful what your actions get you into. Well, this week is Summer Solstice week. We're so excited. But tonight on June 15th, our solar system is to be very active. The Milky Way is over the United States right now, and we're supposed to have a very dark night, very little moon. I'm going to go outside and look. It's supposed to be photographable, just with your cell phone. I think I've told you before that when we go to Alaska, your cell phone is what you search the skies for or with, because it can see up to 22 times more pigments than our eyes. So if you're going on an Alaska cruise and you see people walking outside with their phones up like this, that's what they're doing. They're looking for the lights. I know that I'm going to be out there tonight. I hope you, and if you get any pictures, please come back and post it, because I would love to share them. Well, we talked about it last week, but I am telling you, we're going to cut over to some late breaking news of the delays in Europe and across Europe. Guys, it's everywhere. And it's not because of a storm. It's not because of an act of God. It's not because of the war. Well, some people would say that it trickles down, but I'm going to just jump over and share my screen right now so that I can show you. Get where I want to be. Oops. Almost there. Share screen. With this one. Flights canceled throughout Germany. The UK, Austria, Netherlands, Greece, Belgium, and more. Almost 2,000 flights today. disrupting Lufthansa, British Air, Aegean, Austrian Air, and others in Athens, Berlin, Vienna, and more, guys. Look at these travelers stranded. It's terrible. Flight cancellations surged throughout Europe today. 1,978 delays and 51 cancellations. I think I said that backwards a while ago. I apologize. Delays are almost as bad as cancellations, though. Major hubs: Amsterdam, Athens, Frankfurt, London, Zurich, Manchester, which is an outskirt of London, London Gatwick, Berlin, Stockholm, Geneva, in Vienna, and the Helsinki airport. It's going to include everybody: KLM, EasyJet, Finnair, Lufthansa, Aegean Air, and Sky Express. Sky Express is kind of like their Southwest Airlines. Popular carriers such as British Airways, Ryanair, Air France, Virgin Atlantic, Delta, and Swiss also dealt with delays or cancellations. Here's what's going on. In Amsterdam, they reported the highest number of delays with 311 flights affected. In Athens, followed with 252 flight delays today. Frankfurt registered 237 and 3 cancellations, and London experienced 148 delays and 8 cancellations. KLM and EasyJet jointly recorded the highest number of delays with 171 each. KLM had 12 and Finnair had 119. Airports in 10 countries were heavily impacted today, including the UK, Netherlands, Belgium, Sweden, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Greece, Finland, and Russia. It is the busiest recorded time for Amsterdam. It's the busiest airport in the Netherlands, and it was the most affected today. Athens with 252. Man, think about all those people who are leaving from cruises that they got off of yesterday. Whew, or a lot of honeymooners will arrive today. And wow, 252 delays. The largest aviation hub in Germany is at Frankfurt, and Lufthansa is the majority of what is there, but Lufthansa serves connections through Delta and also through United Airlines, so it spreads across the United States. I was going to move down to tell you, here's what you should do. Check the airlines' websites before you travel. I tell you, if you're traveling internationally, check in 72 hours in advance. Make sure that those reservations are what you think they are. Make sure your passport information is listed there. Contact the airline for rebooking options if a flight is canceled. If I booked it for you, you just call my handy little cell phone and I take care of it for you. Arrive at the airport with additional time to accommodate possible changes, because it's like dominoes with this many flights affected today. And realize that school travel, summer travel is just beginning. This is not good. Monitor weather, get your boarding passes and your receipts. Have a copy with you, have them on your phone. Review airline policies. Baggage has changed, guys. And if you're flying internationally, you go through customs and then you get on a Finnair flight that only allows 40 pounds instead of 50 pounds like you flew across the Pacific or the Atlantic with, then you're in trouble. I mean, they're just citing several reasons: operational challenges, aircraft rotations, crew availability, congestion at busy airports, air traffic management constraints, and changing weather conditions. Airlines might also adjust schedules throughout the day and maintain safety and manage network operations efficiently. Well, we hope that they're doing it efficiently, because it is a struggle for the travelers that are out there right now. Okay. Oops, wrong one. We're going to come back to that. Okay. Here we go. The second story is about the cruise itineraries changing again. So Holland American is really having a struggle, has a ship that is, well, they got to Ketchikan, Alaska, but they didn't get to go into Glacier Bay. They missed Juneau. They skipped Skagway, and they're substituting another small port that's very close to Ketchikan that I didn't know even accepted large cruise ships. They're going into that port, so they have 2 ports of call in a 7-day window for Alaska. I think I would be disappointed. Just saying. There have also been other cruise itineraries that are changing because of the intended weather that is coming through the Caribbean. Oh, well, that goes into number 3. Tropical weather threats are rising. If you go look at a radar map, south of Mexico, around Panama, they are seeing large storms. Now, right now it's just rain, but many times what happens, it is hurricane season. Many times what happens is once it reaches the Gulf, those storms turn up. So keep those people in your prayers. I hope nobody's on a cruise that is in Western Caribbean this week. I don't have anybody that I booked, so I think we're good. Rail services and service alerts. Okay, I told you about my honeymoon couple who just got back last weekend, and they did 5 countries in 3 weeks. Well, one thing that people don't realize is you can go to the actual website of these rail vendors and you can see when they're going to have strikes. I mean, they post it. So we knew on May 29th that there was going to be a strike. We did not know that it was going to affect the tour that they were on. So the insurance has already been filed. But we're just not used to knowing this kind of information in advance for strikes. And it's all over Europe and it's posted. So check sites before you leave. Very, very important. It will save you lots of headaches. Okay. The summer travel season has surged ever since Memorial Day. Florida is getting a lot of drive traffic. I was surprised until I realized that there were lots of sports events. Oklahoma has moved up the list, and it's like up there with Florida, New York, California, and Nevada. So must be something else going on other than sports related activities, but it's really up there. So think about that road trip. I'm happy to help you. We've had the same number for 36 years now, 336-222 trip. And when I moved home from California, I would say, oh, you'll remember me because I'm such a trip. 222 trip. That's me. Okay. Then Summer Solstice is this week. I wish I were at the beach on Summer Solstice, the longest day of the year. Tell me what your plans are. I would love to find that. I had a request to go back and show this again from last week. These are all-inclusive resorts that are in the United States. Right, Little Palm Island and Spa, Resort and Spa is in Florida. I'm quoting that for a friend who called me today. And he said, hey, we don't drink anymore, but we really like it a little bougie. We would like for it to be all-inclusive without the alcohol. Little Palm Island offers that. They offer a meal plan. Castle Hot Springs in Arizona has several resorts that offer meal plans, and entertainment packages. Then think about Marival, Arizona, Resort and Spa, Blackberry Farm in Tennessee, the Lodge, and on Little St. Simon's Island in Georgia. I'm not going to read through the rest of them. You can see them. Probably one that has been overlooked for a long time is the bungalows in Key Largo. That's going to be another one that I quote for this family. Should be very exciting. I will tell you that even though we're having lots of challenges, Southwest moved up the ranks this week, and they have overtaken WestJet, Alaskan Airlines, Azure Brazilian, and Frontier as the dominant carrier across U.S. aviation markets because the simplicity and highly standardized business model. So we'll see if that holds up, but that was in the news just today. Do not forget, if you haven't seen the TV commercials, Princess is offering promotional rates. If you're already booked for our Alaska cruise, it's not better than our group cruise pricing, which we had almost a year in advance, but I'm sorry, almost 2 years in advance, but it does highly discount the Princess Plus package. So right now you could get on this 10-day trip with us, $3,900, and have an ocean view room. No biggie. It includes all of your sightseeing except for when we're in port. And I'm doing my own excursions when we're in port off of the ship. So you're welcome to join us, save hundreds of dollars. None of the excursions are more than $60 for the day. And we take you to the favorite places. And remember, this is our 20th group trip to Alaska. I think we will be able to show you a good time. Okay, let me see what else I have for you. For our 36th anniversary, I am doing Travel Smart Takeaways every week. It's going to have its own YouTube channel, Travel Smart Takeaway. And this week, I just put it together. Well, I tell you what, if you will drop your email to me in a message, I will send it over to you, or go back and look on YouTube and I'll put the QR code where you can get the Travel Smart Takeaway for this week. It's a PDF. Dang. It had several things on it. Well, I apologize. I do not remember. Let's jump to what the stories were last week. And the reason I'm doing that is because I just want to give you some updates. Let's see. Okay. Last week, we were looking at the skies because Venus and Jupiter were very, very close. Tonight, look at the skies because the Milky Way is overhead and it's supposed to be a very dark night. No new updates on the earthquakes, but I will tell you that the typhoon in Japan, I did a comparison between it and the Hurricane Helene because it would be something that you could relate to. It was a larger storm than Helene. It dumped 52 inches across Japan, which caused landslides, rail issues. Of course, they got all their rail fixed within 48 hours because that's the majority, or that's the major form of transportation for many Japanese. There were more people killed in Helene, more people displaced in Helene, but it was devastating for days. And it was very widespread, like the Helene hurricane was for us. We talked tonight about the increased over tourism. a lot of what they're blaming on these cancellations right now are because of over tourism. They're saying there's just too many people. What are we going to do with all these people? It's the beginning of season. So if they weren't prepared for it, I get it. And I did tell you about fraud alerts last week. The only new thing I heard this week was that some people were stopped at Charlotte Airport. It was in North Carolina. It was either Charlotte or Wilmington, and had some kind of device on a charging station, a public charging station. They were taken away, and it was taken away, but just realize those public things are not the best way for you to recharge, or many cases are not. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm Melinda Fargis. We celebrated our 36th year last week on June 6th. I am honored that we continue to get calls from past customers and personal referrals. That's the only way you get to me. And that's the only way you get this phone number. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't gone to YouTube yet, please go subscribe. I had over 700 people watch me on Facebook last week. And I think I got a very minute number who opened it up on YouTube. Unfortunately, Facebook doesn't care what kind of numbers you have, and YouTube they care a little more. So if you have the opportunity, it's right over here in the corner. It is Weekly Travel Updates 2866. So go to YouTube, type in Weekly Travel Updates 2866, and I would be so grateful. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great summer solstice and do something cool. Bye.